You're watching Red Bull Stratos Mission to the Edge of Space. This is Robert Hager, live from Roswell, New Mexico. We're at 108,000 feet now. There is an issue, a minor problem with the heat in the faceplate, or Felix's visor, which with a temperature of about 50 some degrees in the capsule is not a problem for the moment in the capsule, but would be an issue on jumping. The mission for the time being is continuing as the team considers what are the options. We're nearly 2 hours into this mission now, pushing 110,000 feet in altitude. That balloon expanding even more. So the next record mark to watch here is the record highest altitude for a manned balloon flight. As we mentioned, 113,740 feet. That U.S. Navy balloon mission, an experimental program back in 1961. So the balloon, on lifting off, floated to the east. Now well through the 110,000 mark, 110,000 foot mark. Floated toward the Texas border, Roswell being located in the south central of New Mexico on the eastern side of the state already. So it floated farther to the east toward the border with Texas, and then on reaching 80,000 feet or so, the wind shifted and it's now headed somewhat back in our direction, in the direction of Roswell. Mission continuing now, coming up on 2 hours. There's a shot from inside the capsule. You see his checklists up there on the side of the capsule. Now we've passed the 2 hour mark. There it is from outside. Again, notice how the shape of that balloon has changed. Baumgartner with that visor down. The light, the glare up there is really something too, the glare of the sun. In an earlier jump, before Kittinger made his record jump, he'd been blinded by the glare. In fact, that was a flight full of problems, that first jump. This is before his record jump. It was back in 1959, a year before his record jump. Sun blinded him, he couldn't see the gondola instruments, had a hard time jumping off. Then his drogue chute deployed too soon. 3 seconds into the drop instead of 20 seconds in. Wrapped around his neck and he started spinning arms out and lost consciousness briefly. But at about 12,000 feet his main chute opened automatically and he successfully landed. So we're coming up on this record. The manned balloon flight of 113,740 feet set back in 1961. Infrared shot. So he's through it now. Set the record. So this is the highest any human being has ever gone in a balloon or hauled aloft by a balloon. New record holder is Felix Baumgartner. So that is the first of the records he was shooting for today. Continuing to troubleshoot, try to analyze, go through options for what to do about the problem with the face visor. That shot of the balloon being made from here at Mission Control, so that's remarkable. Let's see, 114,000 feet up. So that's more than 21 miles up. And we're out about 40 miles from Roswell. So that's being shot by the camera here. Shows what those long lenses can do. Two hours and 3 minutes into the flight. Somebody had guessed beforehand that it really might take about 2 hours and 18 minutes to get up to flight level. That was Luke Aikens, Felix's skydiving consultant, the mission's skydiving consultant, an accomplished skydiver himself. So Aikens guessed that it would be about 2 hours and 18 minutes to get up to float. It's about 7 years ago that this idea was first explored. This particular project begun formally 5 years ago. The capsule built back in 2008. Suit finished in 2009. Then the next year in 2010, there were wind tunnel tests and bungee jumps for technique, figuring out how to jump off, try to free fall at the highest speed possible, but the safest method too, the safest posture for that jump. Then there were preliminary jumps already back then in 2010. 2011 continued with tests in pressure chambers, simulating the maximum altitude, done at Brooks City Base in Texas. Leading up to those two jumps earlier this year, Baumgartner's jump in March of 71,000 feet and his jump in July of 96,000 feet.